still be heard. And let's see who accepts it.
Oh.
Okay, Facebook has accepted the stream. YouTube has accepted the stream. And Twitch has accepted the stream. Shall we start the show?
We shall.
Okay. When the timer says on the air, you're on the air.
Okay.
Hello, Think Twice Radio. Welcome to Smalltalk with Matt and John. I'm Matt.
And I'm John.
And welcome to our show. How's it going, John?
It's going pretty good. Yeah, I'm doing all right here.
That's good. We're still. So in today's show, we're going to talk about dark forest theory.
Yeah.
And the Bitcoin halving at some point, and then some other topics amongst other areas. So where do you want to start with today's show?
Well, okay, let's start with the dark forest theory.
Okay.
So
before we get into the dark forest theory, people probably have to know about the Fermi Paradox. Correct?
Yeah.
So the Fermi's Paradox was created by this guy.
He's a smart guy.
This is Fermi, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's Enrico Fermi.
Yeah, he worked on the atom bomb.
Yeah, essentially the Fermi Paradox is the discrepancy between the lack of conclusive evidence of advanced extraterrestrial life and apparently the high likelihood of its existence. In short, where is everybody?
Yeah. Because you figure life had to go through all these filters to become civilized. At first, you'd have to have the right chemical compounds in the right place. Then you'd have to have single cellular life. And it lasts for a couple billion years. Then you have to have multicellular life. Then you have to have complex little things. Then little animals flopping around, and eventually those animals have to start using tools, and to get to this point. And so there's all these complex things that go to make up life. But the thing is, our galaxy is so vast. According to Fermi, there should be 36 different civilizations. It should be like Star Wars.
That's kind of the meat of the problem, right? Is that with Fermi, if the galaxy is so big, life should be happening everywhere. And if life is happening everywhere, why hasn't life reached out to us? That's kind of what I understand.
Yeah.
Because are we the only life in the universe, or is there more? And if we are not, if life's happening here, it should be happening elsewhere. Correct?
Yeah, that's right. Now, there are a bunch of different theories. There's a zoo theory. There's a theory that they just are way too evolved than us, or that the galaxy is too big. But this one frightening theory that came up, there's this writer, Li Xuen, which I'm sorry, I'm murdering that thing. But he came up with the dark forest theory, basically saying that, there are civilizations out there, but they say like our galaxy is like a dark forest with all sorts of weird animals in there that we don't necessarily want to meet. And because basically, if your galaxy, even if you meet a nice civilization, that nice civilization can turn around and kill you someday. So, using the probabilities of life, your best bet is to just destroy every civilization you come across. It's like every civilization. This is what they say. It's like a hunter in the dark forest. There's other hunters in the forest. It doesn't make any noise. And anything it comes upon, whether it's an angel or a devil or an infant or an old man or a fairy or a demigod, it destroys. Because it's a hunter, and basically he can't take the risk no matter what it is. It just wipes it out.
So it takes the very violent way of looking at life, that everybody is violent, and it's every person and everything for itself killing each other.
Yeah, because say that you're Native American. You go back to a hypothetical Native American there. Say Europeans came over, but they were like the nicest Europeans. that you could come across. They were super duper nice, and they were like, we are just nice Europeans. We're just going to say hi and leave. They'd still get tons of diseases
Yeah,
from
so
very well-meaning, even if people were well-meaning, and that caused a disaster.
So even if we're well intentioned as a civilization, if we're reaching out to another civilization, even though we might be well intentioned, the unintended consequences or what we might be carrying with us might be violent and dangerous.
Yeah.
So how does the dark force theory? How does it uniquely? If Fermi's paradox if Fermi's paradox is asking where is everybody, how does dark force theory? What is dark force theory's solution or proposed solution to the question where is everybody?
Well, it's just like they're all hiding. They're all that they are like, we do not want to talk to those people over there, even if they're primitive. We're not going to send out any radio signals. We're not going to, or we're going to learn to maybe they could learn to be invisible. Maybe they could even like be invisible right in front of us.
I see. So it says that the reason that no life is reaching out is because all life is just kind of hiding.
They're
hiding,
out there.
waiting, stalking, waiting, not trying to be noticed.
And like we could be like a dumb peacock in the forest right now, just squawking away, and we don't even know it. With little radio signals, and we're putting our flashlights up at night, and all these.
Well, that's the thing is, especially with those Chinese spy balloons.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just makes you think: are those aliens, or are they trying to just kind of dip their toes so that when the real aliens do show up, we're not as shocked? Are they trying to slowly get us used to the aliens?
That's another good point too. Because if there are aliens, chances are pretty good they know about us. Because we have this blue dot that they could have figured out. Hey, there has to be life there. So maybe they've been watching us for a long time. And
I also think of life. Just think of the hundreds of million years that dinosaurs were here, right? Like there was this giant life on Earth, but they weren't necessarily looking. Like there could be life everywhere, just not looking outwards or not looking for.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're trying to communicate with us with different methods that different waves that we can't pick up.
Yeah. They could be harumphing around, just doing their own lives. But maybe they're like whales. Whales are probably very smart, but you don't know what they're saying.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's why I think we should take explore our own planet as well as explore the galaxy, because I think even the trenches of the ocean have not been explored.
Yeah.
There's lots of parts on Earth that haven't been discovered yet.
There's I'm always hoping that somebody will find some brand new form of life, or I hear there's a lake, like a liquid lake in the Antarctic, or no, I think it's in Russia or somewhere where it's a liquid lake under all the ice that's been heated up by volcanic activity, and they're like, there could be stuff.
There probably are things living there. It seems like life tries to find every nook. 'Cause I've been weeding or gardening my backyard lately. It's just amazing when you get into the real trenches and the real niche. No matter how there's life everywhere. Every crack of concrete, if there's a crack there, plants will shoot out. So it is kind of crazy how things can live.
Yeah.
And I can say especially. Volcano powered or some sort of frozen life. If humans don't know things are there, then that's probably a good place for life to hang out for a bit,
Yeah, because you get little bacterias, and then something eats the bacteria, and then something else comes and eats that, and then it poops something, and then something eats that poop, and it's all
kind of seems what life is, just finding places that haven't been exploited of their resources yet. So if you can find an underwater pond that's got resources there that no one else is about, sure, hang out there for a bit and extract.
Yeah. I think there is that you can. There's a name for it. I think you can just take a bunch of dirt from your backyard and put it in a jar, and stuff will start to move around in there, and it'll have its own little environment.
Yeah, it's like composting. Yeah. I've started doing some composting. Essentially you just take food waste and some wet paper and mix it together, and then life takes over. The worms. You want worms. So if you can get worms, they help get the life going.
Yeah. The lungs of the earth, so they say.
Worms are the lungs of
the
the earth?
lungs of the earth. They build little holes in there that oxygen gets in, and which is kind of nice. And they're little hobbits.
Little hobbits.
Little
Little
hobbit.
tardigrades. Eventually, tardigrades are going to take over everything.
Yeah, they're fun. Yeah, those are fun little guys.
Yeah. So let's want to move it into the Bitcoin halving.
Oh yeah, wait, what's going on with these bitcoins?
So the Bitcoin halving. So on April 19th, 2024, the Bitcoin network experienced its fourth halving event. So essentially the halving event is when the supply of Bitcoins being created gets cut in half. So I think one good way to explain this is through math. So kind of, if this is Fermi and he was a mathematician, Satoshi Nakamoto was the inventor of Bitcoin, and he was kind of a mathematician. So he came up with this algorithm, essentially.
Cool.
So here it is. Let me see if I can zoom in. But this is the Bitcoin, kind of the algorithm that describes the halving event. So essentially, you can think of Bitcoin as like a computer game, and all the computer games in the Bitcoin network are playing this game to solve a mathematical puzzle or equation. And every time that mathematical equation, the first computer to solve it gets a reward, and that reward is Bitcoins. So essentially, every 10 minutes, they create blocks. So every 10 minutes, roughly, or each game is kind of made a block, which is just a list of transactions.
Yeah.
So all the computers every 10 minutes make a block. And once 210,000 blocks have been created, that's when the halving occurs, and that's when the reward gets cut in half. So that we experienced the fourth time that happened. So this equation is, this shows every 210,000 blocks. That's how many are in each epoch. And then 32 is the number of epochs or number of halvings. So essentially the Bitcoin supply is limited to 21 million coins. So that's how the Bitcoins are going to be created. So another graph, I think, that is, or a graphic that's helpful to see or hopeful to see is this halving math. And let me see if it pulls up. So here's like a graph of, so essentially there's 21 million Bitcoins, and that's Satoshi Nakamoto. He said there will be 21 million, but the problem is, how do you create 21 million Bitcoins? Do you distribute them all at once, or do you distribute them a million at a time? So kind of his algorithm is how Satoshi Nakamoto decided to distribute the Bitcoin. So in 2009, when Bitcoin was invented, the reward was 50 Bitcoins. Then in 2012, during the first cycle, 10.5 million Bitcoins were created. And then after 210,000 blocks, the reward got cut in half from 50 to 25.
Yeah.
And then over the next 210,000 blocks, 5.25 million Bitcoin were created. And this has kept playing out. So we are right here, whereas the reward just got cut from 6.25 Bitcoin to 3.125 Bitcoin. And this will keep happening until the year 2140, and that's when the last Bitcoin will be mined. So at 2140, that's when 21 million Bitcoins essentially will all be created. And so that's kind of the short-winded answer of what the halving is.
Does anybody know who that guy was? Was it like, has anybody interviewed him, or?
There's some theories. No one's officially identified who Satoshi Nakamoto are. There's some ideas that maybe he was a computer hacker, or maybe he was a group of people, but right now he's remained swayed anonymous, and nobody knows who it is. There was this guy, I can see if I could pull up a picture of him, but his name was Dorian Nakamoto, and there was like an internet sensation that maybe he was the Bitcoin founder. So here's
Dorian.
So this was the guy. There was a rumor for a bit that Dorian Nakamoto was
that guy.
Was Satoshi Nakamoto. So he's kind of, this is what people envision Satoshi Nakamoto looking, but he was falsely accused. This isn't Satoshi. Nakamoto.
That isn't okay.
But yeah, nobody knows who Satoshi Nakamoto was. Today, no one can point to anybody, and he's remained anonymous. I think it's been years since anybody. He used to like hang out in the Bitcoin forums and like message people. So like, he'd be talking, but he's been radio silent for a while now. Nobody knows what happened to him.
it would be fun to be that smart to do something and that disciplined. Because I even if I was that smart, I'm a blabbermouth.
Yeah, and that's kind of, I think it is kind of amazing that this person or group of people just created this person, and then they disappeared and hasn't take credit. Because like you're saying, I think human nature is to
looks
hey,
like, it's me.
Yeah, look at me. I'm Satoshi Nakamoto. There have been a couple people that have come out and said, I'm Satoshi Nakamoto.
Yeah.
But then they haven't really been able to prove it, or there's been people that have claimed, but no one's really had the evidence to say whether they were or not. So essentially it's a big event in Bitcoin that happens every 210,000 blocks as the reward gets cut in half. So like right now it's 3.1, 2.5 Bitcoin. So right now all the computers in the Bitcoin network are playing the game for a reward of 3.125 Bitcoins. And then for the next 210,000 blocks, that will be reward, and then it will get cut again in half. So as you can imagine, that halving is going to keep occurring to like where that reward is going to be very low.
No, the Bitcoin is big. I heard it takes lots of computer power.
Yeah, so it does take a lot of computer energy, but a lot of things take energy, right? Like what's the total power to power Christmas lights? Like it's a large number, so it does use a lot of energy, but a lot of things use lots of energies.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah, but it's all just like a computer thing that is like your Bitcoin.
Yeah, because essentially the miners are the Bitcoin computers. Like that's what's using all the powers.
Yeah.
People have these high powered, even like above gaming computers that they just run.
Yeah,
they let them running 24/7 if they can to mine or to play the Bitcoin game to get. So that uses what's actually using money or using power is all those computers that are powering the network.
Like if I had a big computer, I could say, I just got 20 Bitcoins today.
Yeah, so like if you have a computer, you could plug it in, and then you could join the network and play the game. And if your computer solves, the cryptographic puzzle first, you would get the reward. So you could actually play the game and get 3.125 Bitcoins now because your computer.
And use that as money?
Well, yeah. Then you have Bitcoin it's a cryptocurrency. So that's the theory is that it could be used used as money. And that's kind of once Satoshi Nakamoto invented Bitcoin, there was this whole kind of prehistory to Bitcoin where there was these computer geeks, or they called them the cypherpunks, that were trying to create like computer money. Yeah. So there was efforts like digital gold or digigold, I think it was called, all these different computer scientists that were trying to make cryptocurrency or digital money. And Bitcoin it seems to have solved and made blockchain technology, which is kind of the essentially what it's solved is the double spend problem. Yeah. So the reason we have banks now is because if I want to send you money, or we kind of need an intermediary to make commerce. So what blockchain tries to do is try to make kind of peer-to-peer cash. So you kind of remember Napster?
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah. So kind of like if you can remember peer-to-peer technology, it's kind of trying to apply that to money a bit. Yeah. So you could use it. Yeah, you could get Bitcoin, and then if other people value Bitcoin, it could be used as money. So that's kind of why people are paying. And these mining pools that come up, the reason that it uses so much power is like if you have one computer and I have one computer, the chances of your computer or my computer solving the puzzle first is very rare. So what people are doing are pooling computers to join on one team. And then the more computers you have in your team, the better your chance. And then if your team wins, they split up the reward amongst the different computers.
Whoa. Oh, okay, yeah. So, okay. I could see where like then you could you become greedy for more computer power. You could be
so especially as another graphic I have. So as the mining reward gets cut in half, like the Bitcoins become more rare. So when Bitcoin was first created, a single person or a single computer could win, but now since there's so many computers in the network, it's easier just to join a mining pool, or to you need a lot more computing power to have a chance. So this is a picture. This is called the stock to flow model. But this is kind of a popular theory that just shows the Bitcoin price with the halving events. So this y-axis, let's see if I can adjust this on the screen. It's on a log scale. Oh. So like essentially these halving events, it takes a while for the market to like figure out the price. So like when Bitcoin was first created, it was like $1. Essentially, the price goes up and then it comes back down as like the market. So like on April 19th, the halving reward was cut in half, but like the market really hasn't really felt fully that the price of Bitcoin has come down, because that's another thing with it. It's very volatile. The price would go up, and then come shooting down. So over history, it's kind of always gone up and then come down, kind of triggered, it looks like, based on these the halving events that happen around here, and then like kind of usually like a year later, the price spikes up because the market starts to feel that Bitcoin's getting rarer over time. We'll see how it plays out, but I think if you can understand that Bitcoin's capped at 21 million, that you kind of understand it, because that's kind of one of the I think Satoshi Nakamoto's quote when he mined the first Bitcoin block was saying chancellor on the brink of bailouts. So he's kind of like made Bitcoin as like a counter protest to like our current fiat money that we have now, where bankers and whatever can just kind of create unlimited money. So he put like a hard cap on 21 million, which is why people kind of value it, is because it's completely
separate from.
It's completely separate, but then also there's 21 million and it's fixed, and whether you're a powerful banker or a peasant, you can't change that number. So it's like infinitely scarce, which is kind of its its main invention. But yeah, that was the halving events that happened this month, and I think it's just important for people to be aware of.
Cool. Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's like a whole different like money system.
Yeah,
for people,
which is, I think, is kind of exciting. Especially, I don't know if you've ever had to send money across borders, but when you try to send money across borders, it's really hard. So one of the advantages of Bitcoins or computers is you can send money across the world. There's no kind of like right now, if you wanted to wire transfer somebody in, I don't know, Bangladesh, $50, that would be really hard, and the bankers would probably take more than $50 in fees.
Yeah.
So I have a question: what if he was actually a she? I don't know, but I think Satoshi Nakamoto, he did identify as a he on the Bitcoin forums, but I think that's part. No one knows who he was, or I think there's a theory too that he could be multiple people, like multiple computer hackers, just kind of like made up. Kind of like account that they were all in, and
kind of like Q, like they don't really know who Q was, or
Q was more of just like a character that a bunch of people created to kind of make a gag. So he's kind of Bitcoin folklore at this point.
Whoa.
So let's want to move into the next segment, which is
the
joy of painting.
Oh, really? Oh,
with this video, that's the sound's not playing. But this is you with your art.
There I am. Oh, when I was much thinner.
That's what I'm old enough now where I can look at myself back in time and see, I look so much younger, but I didn't feel young at that time.
Yeah, I didn't feel it. Yeah.
But we can refilm your part. But yeah, here's you with your art. So the joy of painting. Geez. So you wanted to discuss one of your lovely pieces of art.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Now the one image I sent you, if you show it, it's a part of a painting.
A part of a painting. Yeah. Which is this.
What is it? But okay. That's Prince, but you'll have to come to 62 College Street on Friday and see the rest of the painting. And because basically that's Prince, but what is he doing?
What is he doing? He looks like he's staring.
He's very intent, and he's moving around. So, but also, like, what is in the rest of the painting? That's the exciting part. So, if you go to Art Under the Stars, the thing that College Street or Queen City Gallery puts out, our buddy Mike Mully, it's his thing, and it's basically there's good food, and there's my art will be there, but along with Chris McGee's art and Neil Mahar's
from cartoonists,
Neil Mahar, and various other artists.
I see. So this painting,
Thomas Bittner,
my former geography professor.
Yeah. So he'll have his stuff there.
So you're saying that this little bit.
Yeah, that's
a bit in a larger network of art.
That's a new painting, but also there's other weird paintings that I have. But
I see. What is Prince doing here?
Prince is,
I don't know. You'll have to go. So Art Under the Stars on Friday.
Art Under the Stars, yeah.
in Allentown.
It's always a good time for everybody.
What time does Art in the Stars usually start?
It usually starts at 6 and it goes to like 10. You can stay there later if you want,
6 to 10 at 62 College Street.
Yeah. 62 College Street, which is that's a great part of town. It's a great artsy kind of part of town.
I think it's part of the First Fridays, right? The Allentown First Fridays.
Yeah.
Which I do think I like that it's part of like a neighborhood tradition of every first Friday of every month you get together and show art publicly.
Yeah. But it is nice in the summer. It's really nice to go out.
Well, yeah, now that the weather's doing good again. What how did Cartoonitis? How did that? Today's the last day of April, so is it still up?
You know what? I went and I took down all of our stuff. It was good. I had art up there, and Sophie did too, and Chris McGee, and our buddy Neil. It was a good show, but I guess that place is doing good.
Yeah,
Terrible.
Well, it's good cartoon. The joy of cartoon painting.
Yes.
Cartooning is an art form and a medium that needs to be celebrated.
It needs to be celebrated. Yeah, it's America's language. It's America's art form.
A cartoon says 1,000 words, more than 1,000. But I guess I'm excited to see the new art at Art Under the Stars.
Yeah.
Speaking of art, I recently, or this past, I think on the 20th, April 20th, performed my first public gamelan show.
Oh, cool.
So gamelan, this is a picture of the advertisement, but we had a celebration, an open house of Kartini Day, which is some sort of women's empowerment day in Indonesia. But essentially, I played. I've been part of the gamelan groups. I've been practicing with them, and we had a public performance where.
Do you know my friend Risa? Maybe because I know a bunch of gamelan people like Risa.
Maybe I feel like I don't
and,
know. I know people's faces.
Maria Murphy. You probably do know Luna, woman named Luna Primavera. Maybe you probably So maybe we know the same people because I know a bunch of people who they're in gamelan. They're like Indonesian.
It's a pretty niche. Yeah, it's a niche thing. So if they're in it, they probably. Still are.
I know it's a wonderful form of music of like xylophones and gongs and bells.
Yeah, and interlocking. Yeah, woven. It's about patterns. And, I think they use different kind of progressions, or I guess the music notation is not really notes as much as it's about numbers. So like when you see with the gamelan music notation, it's like numbers. So 1, 2, or 5, 3, 1, 6, 5, 3, 1, 6. Instead of like Western, we kind of have like the letters, so like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, G sharps, where it's kind of a different notation system. But yeah, I've enjoyed playing the gamelan, and I think I have a clip here of
a small world.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing about, I guess, gamelan is there's people. Yeah, it seems like it's a small world. It's funny how it just kind of spreads. At least in Buffalo, there actually is a pretty strong gamelan community. Because I've been playing with the Javanese group, which is the island of Java. Because there's different, even within gamelan music, there's the different islands play completely different sounds of music.
That's one thing I love about Indonesia. Thousands of islands.
Yeah.
And it's a country. It's like, you got Java, you got other little islands, you got,
I think that's better, too, than the United States, which has just states with invisible boundaries. Because at least on an island, there's if you don't like the people on the other island or state, you can just get on a boat and just go to another, and you're actually separated. It's not like here where we have these invisible state lines that are just kind of made up boundaries.
Yeah, it's fascinating too that the ancient Indonesians or Polynesians were great sailors who would just would be like, wait a minute, there's an island over there, and I'm going to go sail toward it. Like I guess they were great navigators.
Yeah,
like they could figure out wait a minute, there's an island in that direction. If we go, they knew they could tell birds came from there or something, or they could tell.
Which I think I don't know if you've heard of Graham Hancock. He has a book about fingerprints of the gods, where he talks about. I think it's called the Piri Reis map, or there's some map that perfectly maps the geography of Antarctica. And it was made before human beings by Western standards or modern science weren't supposed to know about stuff. So his theory, and I think it might be I think we really underestimate prehistoric humans, but his theory is, that there was this advanced, like, boat-faring population of people that were very, like you're saying, could just navigate and knew where, based on where birds were flying and the sun and the stars, could, like, navigate the earth much better than we give them credit for. So maybe there was, like, this advanced, maybe prehistorically there was boat-traveling people, maybe from Indonesia, too, that... Yeah, because if they could travel on boats in Indonesia, what would really be stopping them other than just lots of water from
going all over.
Yeah, going even farther. So yeah, that was Gamelan. What how about bread and circuses?
Okay, let's talk about bread and circuses.
Let's talk about bread and circuses.
I love bread myself.
So one thing, I guess we could start. You want to start with bread or circuses?
Bread.
Bread? Okay. So bread, and we were talking kind of before the show about gleaning.
Yeah.
But I've started dumpster diving for food.
Okay.
Not starting, but I did this a while ago.
Okay.
But I've started more recently, part because economically, and also part because the problem of food waste is a massive problem.
I'm kind of at that level of I will take, like, if food is being thrown out, if people are like, I'm just going to throw this out, I'll be like, I'm going to take it. I will eat it.
Yeah, so I think maybe dumpster diving is a little extreme.
Yeah.
But
there's restaurants and things.
Well, that's the thing. There actually is an art and a science to dumpster diving, which I'm getting. So part of the art of it is choosing which dumpsters, because not all dumpsters are created equal. And then part of the so there's the science of I think the dumpster diving community, they too, also ideally you show up like an hour after closing time, because that's usually when the staff throws the food out. So like there's a science to it, but there also is the art of choosing which dumpsters are, fruitful, I guess, pun intended, fruitful or not. But I found things like the Save-A-Lots. Like Save-A-Lots are kind of these small chains are like good dumpsters because they're better than like a Tops or Wegmans, I guess. And I haven't really gone on enough dumpsters to understand, but like the bigger grocery stores kind of have their dumpsters like on lockdown. Whereas like a Save-A-Lot or like a whatever places that have groceries but are kind of a little more mid-tier grocers. Yeah, their groceries can be fruitful because they still like throw their food out. Yeah, but they're not as locked down. And then also more restaurant types because all their food just gets thrown out in a big mush bag at the end. It's not as good. Whereas like a Save-A-Lot will throw out all these like last week I went dumpster diving. I literally found blueberries because like and they were still in the plastic container of blueberries.
They're still good.
Well, yeah, essentially the grocery staff goes around and says, this says, it expires 4/25. Today is 4/25. Okay, throw in garbage. Yeah. So yeah, like you're saying, you get into the dumpsters, and I'm sorry the YouTube browser's not working because there was a video of a guy doing it. But essentially, if you pick the right dumpsters, you can find food that is perfectly good and an hour or two ago was being sold for $5 a piece, and now it's in this dumpster for free.
I know. On my way home from work, I discovered a place where at the end of the night, they're getting rid of the pizzas, the day-old pizzas. You can get a slice for $1, which is pretty good. Considering slices are pretty expensive now.
So I think I would be willing to pay $1 to get the food. Like if I could just go to a Save-A-Lot and say, hey, those blueberries, I'll give you 50 cents for them now so I don't have to dive in a dumpster later. Yeah. And even I learned the art of dumpster diving from my friend he's now passed away. But my first time dumpster diving was a couple years ago. Yeah. And when we opened up the dumpster, I was like, ooh, like getting there. He was like head first, woo, and in there, and he was, going through the garbage. So like that, I kind of learned my dumpster diving from him. And I'm not there yet, but there is an art to like even you can feel the bag. So like if you go in the dumpster, usually you open it up and there's cardboard boxes, there's contractor bags. You can usually feel the contractor bag to feel what's in it. So like I've noticed when I go in there, I can feel, this is, this is cardboard or this is clearly like garbage. Okay, not here. Or I went dumpster diving at Tim Hortons and you feel it and I was like, these are bagels. So I mean, my first time I like ripped the bag open, which there's actually etiquette in the dumpster diving community. You're supposed to kind of leave the garbage better than you found it. So properly, you kind of feel the bag first. So I've started doing this now. You feel the bag first. There's bagels in here. So then you find, okay, where's this bag tied? You untie the bag, and then you kind of go through gently. You tie it up. Yeah. And I kind of like that too, leaving it better than you found it.
And if you keep doing that, then they'll learn and they'll be like, hey, people are getting into this, and they'll get. Like one thing I do is I I do not pay anyone to pick up my garbage because I could always find a garbage a place to throw my garbage out. I could find out like a dumpster in which to throw out my garbage. And one thing I do is I make sure that I don't I don't leave anything outside. I just do it real quick, and I just throw it right in there, and that's a great way to save money.
Yeah. So I think especially with, the amount of food waste we just create. Especially larger chains like a Tim Hortons or, food waste is built into their business model, right? Like they know that every day each store is going to throw out a certain amount of waste because it's easier to produce a mass amount than it is to, on demand cook a bagel every time somebody orders it.
Yeah.
So I think, especially, part of the mental state of that once I started dumpster diving, I felt really kind of nervous of, am I breaking laws or whatever? So there's a little bit, I think that adds to the thrill of it, just knowing, okay, this is kind of illegal. But some of the videos I watched, they say if you view yourself as like a food waste warrior, then you have to kind of get in the state of mind of, I'm not breaking the laws. I'm not being cheap, even though society might tell me I am literally fighting the food waste industrial complex.
Okay. Yeah.
So now I'm, go in there being, because the amount of food that we waste. I think one time I remember when I was teaching at a school, I just was observing kids and I saw kids get I think it was like tangerines in the little plastic cups.
Yeah.
And they picked it up and then it's on their way to their table they threw it in the garbage. So and then I went in the garbage and just saw and it said like grown in Brazil, packaged in Indonesia. So it was this whole this mental of like, oh wait, these were like grown in one side of the world, shipped to the other side of the world to be packaged, and then shipped back across the world to be ate. And then as soon as it touched the consumer's hand, it got immediately thrown into the garbage. And just thinking of that was just one little cup of fruit in one school. Thinking of, there's this
Tons
whole
of waste,
food waste. So I think it's a viable strategy, I think, for people because foodflation, I think food actually isn't included in like inflation numbers, like in the basket of, the Federal Reserve has like inflation. They have like a basket of goods, a basket of goods that they determine as like what determines inflation. Food a lot of times is too volatile, so they don't include it. But like food is getting expensive, and I want to normalize it and promote it as a way for people to fight the food waste system, and also maybe save a nickel or a penny and
save that money.
Eat well.
A penny saved is a penny earned.
Save a lot. And so I think I'll update more as I find, because there is, like I'm saying, there's an art and a science of dumpster diving. Of the science is showing up right after places close and going in there, and then there's the art of kind of through experience knowing, that's a good dumpster, that's not, or you get to the point of most food dumpsters can like do it blind, where they can feel the bag and like know beforehand.
Now our intrepid engineer Richard was just telling us about in France they had these people called gleaners, where they would do. They're still in France today. They do similar. They basically that's what they do. What you do is like after like an orchard would be picked, the farmers don't need it anymore, and they made a law to where people can go and then pick whatever's left in there.
And I think
which is a good idea.
So I think it's just human society has always been looking for ways to creatively, to maximize their harvest or put food on the table. So maybe in the ancient days, there'd be ways to manipulate your harvest or take food that's not being wasted. But just I'm concerned with the amount of, especially when you just go into some dumpsters and just see the good food that is being thrown out. That especially when there's people hungry or not doing well.
All moving on also to like solid garbage that people throw out. I got a lot of great like stuff for my cats, like cat houses and little cat condos and stuff that I've picked out of the garbage. People throw them out, and I'm like, these are perfectly good. They might have cat fur on them, but I'll take them. I'll throw them in my car. Then I'll vacuuming it off, and my cat just doesn't know the difference. I could have spent $200 on that. He wouldn't have cared.
I know in the city of Buffalo we just had Big Garbage Day, but I think it should be called Big Resource Day, and it should be made a citywide holiday because the amount of resources or garbage that's being thrown out. It was a wonderful day, and that's when I came up with my hit song that I sung last week, "God Bless the Scrappers," because I was able to get rid of garbage. What I saw as garbage, but to other people as a resource, vice versa. Same way as these companies throw out food, and then to somebody else, it's a resource. God bless the scrappers. And so that was bread. Now let's talk about circuses.
Okay, circuses.
So this past weekend was the NFL draft in Detroit, Washington. They held it, and I think it was the largest attended NFL draft. I think over 700,000 people visited Detroit to watch them read names off of index cards.
Yeah.
So that's the circus, and I think one of the, here locally, our circus, the Buffalo Bills Stadium, they've constructed it, or they're in the process of constructing the stadium, and essentially, the Bills, they started charging these personal seat licenses. So essentially, to fund the stadium, the state of New York gave, I think it was like $850 million to build the stadium. Then the Pagulas, or the NFL owners, are putting up their own money.
Yeah.
And essentially what they do is they sell these personal seat licenses, which gives you the right to buy season tickets. You don't get season tickets, but for a small fee, you get the right to buy season tickets.
Yeah.
So then what the Pagulas, or the owners, do is they take all this money from each individual person, put it into a giant pool, and then that is the owner's contribution towards the stadium. So it's kind of a way of taking the fans' money and then putting it off as your own.
Yeah.
So the prices of some of these, people are feeling ripped off because some of the seat licenses are going for as much as $50,000 a piece.
Oh my god!
So you have some people that have been
So-
season ticket holders that had 8 tickets and they're being asked to fork over $400,000 for the right to buy season tickets, not even for season tickets. There's all a bunch of stuff like actually these contributions are tax free because technically it's the state. The state is selling them, even though the state doesn't have any say over the process or the setting of the prices. It's just a giant. It's a circus. We have bread and we have circuses.
Yeah,
and I think people. Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, people, when you start griping about Tesla getting tax breaks, and our facility was built. It was a lot of money was put forth, so people gripe about that. But think about the sports, how much money they rip you off for the sports industry. Whereas Tesla, I get the money and I spend it in Buffalo.
Yeah, I think that's
it keeps a guy like me working.
I think the quote "bread and circuses" is usually used as like a I don't know what's the word for it, but kind of used as like a negative of bread and circuses, like condescending. But I think there isn't much more to life than bread and circuses. You eat and you are entertained, and you kind of, if you don't have entertainment, your life's boring. If you don't have food, you starve. So you need both. You need the circus and so the NFL draft. Especially if we're making small talk, one of the small talks you might want to talk about Bills football and the draft because that's a good small talk. So the Bills, they drafted a new receiver. He's a big, fast guy with good hands. So maybe. And here's a clip of him making a highlight.
Oh, cool.
So here's him making a catch with one hand.
Oh, okay.
So that's the guy the Bills drafted. So if you're ever, around the water cooler and you want to talk about small talk, you want to talk about circuses and football, say, hey, how's that new Bills receiver? He's really big and he's got good hands, right? And then that might be a topic of conversation. So if you're at the office water cooler and just looking to make small talk.
Okay. Oh, I have a circus input here.
Okay.
Okay. People at home are probably wondering, John, what shirt are you wearing? What is that you're wearing?
What is it? Yeah.
Let me explain to you.
Can you stand up and show the people?
Here we go. Here what we have, it says hot potato. And there is
hashtag
hot potato. Now, this is in reference to one of the best characters in fiction. There's people of Hodor or Samwise Gamgee or Big Pussy from The Sopranos. There's always characters in different shows that people love. This is one of the best characters in a wonderful show called Attack on Titan.
This is a Japanese anime.
It's a Japanese anime, and it's weird and horrifying, but there's a lot of levels to it and layers. It's about it's a lot about society, and it's about racism and nationalism and militarism and just personal and what freedom means, but it's also weird Japanese stuff. but it's very serious. It's very, oh my God, it's so serious. But this character, Sasha Brown, oh Sasha, she has a sense of humor. She's one of the few characters where she actually has a sense
She's
of
a
humor.
jokester.
And she eats. Her thing is she eats. She's into eating, and also if you ever go to Japan, if you like eat potatoes, that's like a bumpkin thing. It's like a funny and they think it's very funny
To eat
like,
potatoes?
I just eat potatoes. It means like I'm kind of like a pumpkin. I'm like a hillbilly or something, But she's her thing is it's a very it's about okay. Do you like zombie movies?
I don't know if I've ever seen a zombie movie.
Okay,
That's
imagine
straight.
zombies are giants. They're naked, weird Caucasian giants
Okay,
of all
Caucasian
different
guy.
sizes. They could be 10 feet. They could be 20 feet, 50 feet. They could be 8 feet, and they walk it. They run at you like really weird. They're like
They have to have a weird hitch. Yes.
yeah, they have weird, and they have like old man bodies and infant bodies and kind of screwed up bodies.
That's why I think the zombies. You need a whole vast, diverse array of zombie bodies.
That's the thing, and these giants are all different. And some of them, and they eat you. Their deal is they want to eat you. And in their society, and in this society, little Sasha, she's in a military corps, the Scout Corps, where they will fight the giants, and they have technology, which is really cool. They have real cool like Spider-Man technology to kill the giants, which will and there's like aberrations of the giants. Some of them once in a while like they're all male except for one, and sometimes it'll be like a beast giant, like a big monkey giant. Like where did that come from? Or it'll be like a giant that just like crawls, and like why is that? And so there's different variations of the giants that they have to fight, and you find out more about the society and why it's like that.
Huh.
And the world becomes more darker as you go on.
I see. But she's making jokes amongst it all.
But she's like
keeping it light.
a Samwise Gamgee or like a C-3P, like a or R2-D2. Like what? Oh, I love that character. Like here comes Chewbacca. Here comes, like everybody else is so goddamn serious in the show.
Yeah.
They're all like, oh my god, the goddamn giants are gonna kill us.
I see. You got to keep it light. I think
Yeah.
that's actually amongst a circus. What good is a circus if you don't laugh? I think one of the quotes I like is "Not my monkeys, not my circus," because I feel like that you can just apply that quote to so many scenarios of life where if you just take a step back and say these aren't my monkeys, this isn't my circus. Maybe I'm a monkey in the circus, but I'm not. This isn't my monkeys, and these isn't my circus. I think that's a quote that it's helped my mental health. I think.
Yeah, it's other folks.
Yeah, other folks' problem to deal with.
Yeah.
So that was circuses.
Yeah.
I guess kind of bread and circus related, but I can talk about some politics,
Okay,
some local politics. I think
what's going on?
last 2 shows ago, I announced that I had filed a petition to run for Fillmore 16 Erie County Democratic Committeeman.
Yeah.
And I am proud to, or I don't know, proud or excited, but my petition's been invalidated. My petition. I made a mistake on my petition, and now I have been removed from the ballot. So
Darn it.
yeah. So there's a part of the petition. So essentially your petition sheet is like a spreadsheet where you have all these names, and at the bottom you sign, and you have to write your district you're running from. But in the there's this legal paragraph at the bottom of the petition right before you sign, and within that paragraph there's a little slot, and it says in there basically on this sheet you brought forward blank signatures, and you're supposed to write how many signatures are on your sheet, because the way they don't actually count the signatures, they just look at the number, and if your number verifies, so like I needed 5 signatures to have an eligible petition, so I turned in 2 sheets of 6 signatures, so I had 12 signatures total, but since I didn't put in the little blank 6 on each page, technically I brought forward 0 signatures, so I didn't get any signatures, so my whole petition is invalid and I get taken off the ballot.
What a pain in the butt.
Yeah. So I think this is
Next time.
I don't know. Next time. I think this is kind of, I don't know, enlightened me, but even I think the quote was, your mistake makes your whole petition it's a fatal mistake. Whereas I think this for me has signified that no, I think I'm not a politician. I think I'm an artist because I think mistakes are beautiful. I think mistakes are what make art. And I don't want to really be in a field or industry where a mistake makes your whole thing invalid. Whereas especially like in jazz, like if you hit the wrong note, it actually can work and actually is like kind of celebrated. So I don't know. I don't know if there will be a next time, but kind of getting tired of fighting the machine, which is kind of what they know. They know, they can just wear your gears down. But I want to bring that out in the open because I think this happens all the time. If new people like me make a mistake and then it invalidates. And I think one of the things that to me is concerning is, especially in the city, we have the Erie County Democratic Party. There is no Republican Party in the city, so that we have one party, which is the Democratic Party, and the commissioner of the local Democratic Party is also the commissioner of the Board of Elections. So he kind of like. And I kind of even saw this in my petition of people protesting my petition. So, like, just the whole machine of, like, how we have the person running the Democratic Party and the commissioner of the Board of Elections are the same guy. And we're the only place in New York State where that's, like, a thing. And actually, today's the special election for the congressman. So, like, they held this special election day kind of, it's just kind of disappointing. I think I'm kind of over fighting. I don't know. For now, fighting the system. Maybe it'll be a next time. But it kind of gets... it beats you down. Oh man. But next time. Next time, maybe we'll figure out. Make a mistake again. But that was my politics. So I will not be a committee man.
The heck with you, committees.
So I guess my hit song that I was thinking about releasing goes, "I'm a committee man. That's what I am. I'm a committee man. That's what I am." I guess that song. Now I can't sing that song because I'm not a committee. That's not what I am.
But okay. Speaking of songs, did you hear that this Taylor Swift person has like 14 hit songs?
I did hear that recently.
I had no idea.
I knew she's like essentially the Bob Dylan of our generation, but it does seem like it's just kind of just another light or signal in the sky that we're moving towards a global monoculture where we have one hit artist, we have, one burger place, we have one of everything.
There's a movie like that where like, I think it was Judge Dredd. It was like an old 80s movie. And at the end, the guy, he dies, he comes back in the future and they're like, "Oh, I'll see you later at Taco Bell." And he's like, "Taco Bell?" And it's like, basically, the food wars are over. There's only one restaurant.
One winner.
And it's Taco Bell.
Huh. Well, Taco Bell has they dominated the whole Mexican fast food restaurant. Because, even tied down to the food waste of these corporations, they get so efficient at making tacos or whatever that they just, nobody can compete with them. Because I think, as I mentioned, just on my cross-country road trip, it was just kind of very disheartening to see all of America as just essentially one giant strip mall.
The same.
The same, Chipotle, Starbucks, Burger King, McDonald's. Yeah, it's everywhere. So it's especially we have these artificial invisible lines, but you go to everything, and I think even with the internet too, we're kind of moving towards one human monoculture where, not even necessarily it's the I don't know. Does Taco Bell have the best tacos, or are they just the best at marketing and the most efficient at making tacos? Because I'm sure there's some mom and pop taco place in El Paso, Texas that churns out tacos for half price, but I don't know if their marketing budget isn't up to scheme. But Taylor Swift is and admittedly she's a good artist and makes catchy songs, but I think it's just disheartening to see us moving towards the world of one.
But though I support her. I like the fact that her political stance. She took a risk. Like I remember seeing the interview, and she was there, and her father and like all these old men were like, "Hey, you sure you want to do this political stance?" And she's like, and they're like, "Oh, they'll threaten you because you will be threatened now for putting your politics out there." And then, and you'll lose money. And she's like, "No, I'm going to do this." And she didn't care, and she took her stand, and I'm like, I applaud that.
I think that's the respectable path to go. Is saying your bit, and
Yeah.
and what good is all that power and fame if you don't use it to steer the world in a positive direction, or the direction that you'd like to see?
Yeah. Oh, well, what else?
So we have 5 minutes left in the show, and you, audience, is there anything you'd like to hear us talk about, or do we want to revisit Dark Forest theory?
If you got on the show late, you missed our whole diatribe about the Dark Forest theory.
Which is, do you subscribe to the theory of essentially the TDLR or TLDR is that the question is, where is all the life? Where is everybody?
Yeah.
If life is here, it must be everywhere. And if it's everywhere, why hasn't it showed up yet?
Yeah.
And Dark Forest theory postulates that everyone's evil, so everyone's just hiding in a dark forest, not making a sound.
Yeah.
So do you believe in this theory?
Yeah, like our little, every civilization is like a candle flickering in a dark forest by itself.
Or like a dark stalker in the night, not making sounds because it doesn't want to be discovered.
Yeah, because it doesn't want.
So where do you personally stand on this theory? Do you think it's a valid theory or invalid?
It's really disturbing if it's true, because like most smart animals are predators, and I could see where mathematically you could be like, I'm only going to survive if I kill every species I come across. But then if you're smart, you're not going to do that.
What about the species? Aren't there like the parrots that like they sit on elephants' backs because they eat the fungi or something up there? Like
that's a great point.
There's got to be civilizations that just decompose other civilizations, or
that's a great point too, because you could also learn, you could adapt from another civilization and grow. You could have a trade thing going on.
Yeah. So where do you think everyone is? Is it Dark Forest there, or where is everyone? Why isn't life shown up yet?
I'm thinking that space is very big, and that we could be like in the Dune universe. We could be around for a million years and never find anything. Where space is that big.
It's such a. I think that's it. It's such a large vacuum.
Yeah.
It is such a large vacuum that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if there's multiple, infinite amount of universes, there probably is more. But I think it is so large that we can't really count.
Way out there. Yeah. Like, well, what was it? The one person said, it's like you could take a cup of water. Like, there's whales in the ocean, but the way we look at the universe, we're just taking a little cup of water and looking at it and go, hey, there's no whale in there. Like, looking for alien life. Like, there are definitely whales in the ocean, but it's just so huge. We just might never come across it the way we're looking at it.
I also think of life. Maybe life. They're so preoccupied with their life on their own planet that, especially if all the life with dinosaurs weren't. You could have tons of life. Especially, we seem to be the only species on Earth looking towards the star for other life. So if we're just the only people here, there could be other life somewhere that's not actually looking. Yeah. Maybe life is just kind of has their head in the sands. But I think it has to do something with how large the universe is.
Yeah, because it's and I guess faster than light travels, you can't do it, and wormholes and stuff, that's really super impossible.
That's the thing is, I love how the physicists just call it dark energy or dark matter. They literally just put a term on something that we don't understand. Yeah. They literally just shorthand for saying we have no idea what's going on. But if we call it dark matter, then we can we give it a term that we could describe it. But I think it's comical that they just call it dark matter, and then even now people just say, 75% of the universe is dark matter, and it sounds like when you hear that, it's just like the scientists they have it under control. Where it's like I think if you just said 75% of the day we have no idea what's going on, it's more startling. So they just give it a term to keep people
it is
sedated, I guess, into the reality of it.
Yeah, that's another we could do a whole show on dark matter. What is it?
What is it? What is we don't even know.
Yeah. Can you make a sword out of dark matter? Like,
why is it dark?
Yeah, why is it dark? Yeah.
Why isn't it light matter?
Yeah. Yeah. But it's just but it's cool. It's a cool idea. It's like
you need to give it a term in order to comfort us, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, too, like friendly matter or
I just think it's I don't know. It just seems like we've just kind of stalled in space travel or whatnot.
Yeah, maybe who knows? Maybe have some new great thing.
Great thing.
Yeah.
And Richard, our fine producer, is here. He is the brains and the heart behind Think Twice Radio. So thank you all Think Twice for tuning in. Let us know if you'd like to hear other topics moving forward. We have 50 seconds left. What other jargon can we talk about?
Products, services.
On Wednesday there's going to be an Woody Guthrie open mic at Gypsy Parlor. So I think when I was driving across Texas, I think specifically on the day of the Eclipse, I had a Woody Guthrie CD that I just hit on loop. So it's very timely because I like Woody Guthrie. He's got lots of good folk songs, like "My Land, Your Land," or "This Land is My Land, This Land is Your Land."
Yeah,
that's a Woody Guthrie song.
That's a great song.
Yeah, it's like a timeless classic. So he was, he's a good musician and
he's a guy I admire. Yeah.
Well, that's Small Talk with Matt and John. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time. Thanks, Think Twice Radio.
Thanks.
Fade to darkness.